Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first day on the air with a new podcast. We're bringing you a podcast called An Angry Black Woman Podcast. Okay. So, okay, we welcome you to this podcast. I'm here with my dear friend, Red Dragon, the poet. Yeah, that's her name, y'all.
Hello.
That's her name, Red Dragon, the poet. You gotta say the whole thing.
Yeah, right. Okay. Make
And
me
this
feel complete.
okay. So um like, subscribe, follow. We will be on several different platforms. So whatever you like to listen to your podcast on, even YouTube, we will be here. So like, subscribe, follow, and we're on social media as well. So this is our first episode, like I said, and we wanted to just kind of introduce ourselves and just kind of tell you the history behind why we started this podcast. Yeah. Black women or women of color, darker shades of color. Women of color get kind of treated kind of crazy. Okay, so we want to dispel the myths that Black women have an attitude, that Black women are all these horrible things, and that we, like, that's all we do is want to like put a finger in your face and shake our head. We do that for drama. Okay. So how you doing today? How you doing today, Red Dragon, the poet?
I am doing great and grand. I'm doing great. I'm darn glad to be here. This was very interesting, though.
So
it really was.
It's just so basically this podcast is born out of our experiences, people we know as Black women. Like, we share the stories, we talk about, girl, let me tell you what happened to me today. Let me tell you what happened at work today. Let me tell you what my boss said. Like, we say these things to each other, but of course we can't go to work and say them. Not if we want to keep our job.
Okay.
So the first thing is, like, what's the history of it? All right. Like, I'm so interested in, like, where things started. Like, why did that start? That's me. So it's like, I remember back in the 70s. What's her name? Florida. From Good Times.
Okay. And you had Florida Evans, Winona.
Yeah. Her best friend Winona. But Florida was on that show called Maude first. She was the maid, the housekeeper for Maude, Maude was a spinoff from All in the Family with Archie Bunker and all of that. Maude was the wife's cousin.
Okay.
Edith Bunker. Maude was Edith Bunker's cousin, and she made appearances on and off the show All in the Family. So they made a spinoff about Maude, and Maude's maid was Florida.
Oh my goodness, you taking me way back.
Yeah,
I remember bits and pieces of those sitcoms. And
okay. Florida, because she could hold her own. She tell you what she had to tell you, and she was, strong and independent, right?
Mm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but she has some sass to her. And if you go back further than that, like you have like in the Hattie McDaniel days in the 30s or whatever, they,
Mm-hmm.
they had this kind of dialogue where they were not using correct grammar or whatever, but Mammy was sassy.
Mm, mm-hmm.
Like in Gone with the Wind, um, the character that says she tells us she's gonna help with the baby or something like that, and she goes, "But I don't know nothing about birthing no babies." Like that's
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of black women in those roles were childlike, grown women, but like their dialogue, they were childlike.
right, right.
And I see what you mean, like, especially that the the sassy, which I'm thinking about those older sitcoms I used to watch when we were smaller. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a 70s baby.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, I now that you mention it, yeah, those it was certain roles that it was just normal for me to look at that black woman depicted either in a way of servitude, and if she had an attitude, it was sort of controlled. It was
Right.
like but it was always childlike,
Well,
you know.
sometimes in the 70s though, because we would go to the movies, and at that time the movies that we wanted to see because it depicted black people were
Mm.
the black exploitation movies. So, the whole Coffee, Foxy Brown. I loved, well, I don't know how many times I saw Cleopatra Jones. I because they would say jive turkey, but they would say
Mhm.
jive turkey when you needed to say jive turkey. But for the most part, they were very well spoken and articulate black women. They knew martial arts.
Mhm.
They were on the side of the law. They could protect themselves. They knew how to shoot, whatever, fight, whatever.
They were depicted as women we could relate to. I
Right,
think at that time, because it was always these unrelatable uh mammies. And then here we got, we moved to the 70s, and we got in the 60s, we got Foxy Cleopatra, we got Cuffy, we got these strong black women that's telling it
right,
like it is, and they're using, the correct slang
right.
instead of that, you know, slave language or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And
And
one thing I liked about them, and I don't mean to cut you off, but one thing I liked
no,
about them was that they, the word no wasn't in their vocabulary. Like
mm,
whatever they set out to do, they would set their goal for whatever it was. If they were gonna get the the drug kingpin or whatever they like, whatever they would go do,
right.
like the word no was not in their vocabulary. They set the goal and they went for it, and that's what I liked about their strength. But I remember feeling like the people around me didn't behave that way. So it was like,
Mhm.
this is not completely what being a black woman is about.
Yeah.
But that's
I,
what people saw. And so anytime you have an attitude, it's like, oh, you angry.
mm,
Did you see that article that came out? I think it was in the New Yorker, maybe. I can't
was it in?
remember. But on the front cover, they
Mhm.
had a picture of Michelle Obama,
Oh my goodness.
and she
Okay.
was toting the gun. She had her muscles because that was a problem that she would show her well developed arms, which I thought was fabulous.
Right, because she was in shape.
She was in
And
shape. She didn't have to be afraid of her arms. So, like, but the picture depicted her and Barack. He was in some African garb,
get out of
and
here.
she was like post up like Foxy Brown or something. Like she had the guns hanging on her, like, and she was like
Get
this.
out of here. No, I have not seen. I have heard reference to that, but I have never seen.
Yeah,
See, why I stay out of. Oh my! I could not
yeah.
imagine. Was it at the time they were campaigning and running for office and all of
It
this was
might have been. It might have been. I can't remember exactly when it first came out, but like
true?
it was. It made me upset because here's this woman who had like done so much in her lifetime and accomplished so much in her lifetime.
Mhm.
And again, very articulate and well spoken. It's like they have a problem with us when we're very articulate and well spoken. They will even say, "Oh, you're so articulate." And I'm like,
For yeah, or for someone like you, or for
but what
someone
do you
your
mean
age,
someone like me?
or
Like
oh
I,
yes. Oh
I
yes.
everybody in my family was articulate, so I don't know what you're talking about.
When I want to bring light to that word, because I was when I was going through that article about the angry black woman perspective,
Mm-hmm.
a few little bitty words jumped out, and it just when you were saying articulate, it was like words like shrill, nagger, mean
Mm-hmm.
spirited, and abusive, uh criticizing because we're bitter, and they want to project that unhappiness to others, not really wanting to do something, but like a constant complainer. And I'm looking at these words and I'm like, now, wait a minute, shrill. And I'm looking at shrill, nag. So these are little bitty words that have such big impact, but they're embedded so deep in our psyche that, like what you were just saying, describing the hand movements, the this and that, and growing up and seeing if we all this attitude, but when it came to someone who was the opposite of that, well articulated, didn't have to raise their voice, was very firm and carried themselves outside of that perspective. And it seems like they had to reach and find something. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Oh
Mm-hmm.
my
Mm-hmm.
God, this doesn't fit this mold, and this is so outside of outside the norm that it's really quite scary how the perspective is so deeply embedded that anything outside of that is attacked and
Mm-hmm.
questioned.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, that's not real. That's not how it's supposed to be.
I remember. I remember before, because it became Angry Black Women, but before then, we were
Hmm.
called sisters with attitude. You sisters
Mm,
with a two. You got a two. You had an attitude.
mm,
If you had vision and didn't mind saying what your vision was, if you
mm,
could, you know, have an idea and be able to go forward with that idea, if you were okay with defending yourself, you know, by the words that were coming at you, and demanding that type of respect from people who are speaking with you, then you were a sister with a tube. I've been all of them because I'm old enough to let me tell you, I've been all of them. When I was a little girl, little girl, why you better get that attitude in check.
Get it
If I
together.
had an idea or a thought, right, like, okay, that was outside of what the air quotes little girls are supposed to talk about, right? There's a lady named Carolyn West. She did a study on this,
Okay.
and so she set it up so that she can show the several different ways that people set Black women up to be portrayed. It's like a template she set up for portraying almost all Black women in this manner. Like, she showed how it's done, right?
And I caught that was mind blowing.
Right.
Because you literally could see yourself in that spectrum,
Yeah.
and it's like it really made me take a step back and look at, do I act like that? Is that really how I'm perceived? Am I really acting that way? It really it opened my eyes, but it was also a little bit traumatizing.
Exactly.
A
It
little
is
bit
traumatizing. It's traumatizing. I
it's
totally agree
traumatizing.
with you, because listen, to be told that
It just
because you're
that.
speaking your mind, you're being shrill,
Mhm.
or because you're speaking your mind, you have an attitude. It's putting you
You're
in,
threatening the social norm.
well,
Mm.
you're discriminating against me, and you're putting me in a box where I have to live almost in servitude. So,
Right. Right.
like, I don't get to walk with you. Uh, Listen, I think that there have been so many, and it's too many for us to name, and we are going to have another show that is specifically about angry the angry Black woman. But we wanted,
Mm.
basically, this is more about just letting you all know what the show is about and where we coming from. And it's really to dispel the myths. Okay. It's to dispel the myths. And maybe we do talk about stuff we angry about. I don't know. But it really is to dispel the myths that you don't have to be in a corner cowering, or wordless,
Mm.
in order to boost someone else out of their insecurities, because that's really what it's about. That's what I think.
It,
What do you
it,
think?
it, 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 the societal expectations of Black women
Mm-hmm.
is that we are passive, servile, non threatening, and unseen.
Mm-hmm.
That is what we are supposed to be. And I guess as we have evolved into this self awareness, I'm a bad bitch, I'm a bad this, I'm a bad that, we don't realize that we have slipped into yet another bracket where now we
Mm-hmm.
are the sassy, uh, impertinent, um, uh, critical, always bitter, and never really proactive with anything. But they're slowly erasing the Angela Davises. They're slowly erasing the Sojourner Truths. They're erasing these women that were like, no, uh this is not who I am. I have a voice. I demand that it be respected and heard. It contributes something significant. I am significant,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not going to keep me in. And therefore, a lot of these women were exiled. So now we don't have any presidents. We don't have any role models, because the ones that we have are either strictly faith based or what you see in reality shows. There's no in
Okay.
between.
But again, look what happened the moment Kamala Harris came into the worldview, because she was already a force to be reckoned with. But the moment she came into the worldview, she can't open her mouth without being belittled. She can't open her mouth without somebody saying she's an angry Black woman. And she just speaks her truth. She speaks her truth. She speaks the truth of others, like she stands up for others.
Mhm.
But all of a sudden, she's become this idiot. Not me saying that. I'm not calling her
Right,
an idiot.
right.
I'm
Oh
saying
no,
this
you're
is
right.
the perception
It
is
is
that
right.
Kamala Harris is an idiot and not worthy of the position of vice president because she says what she has to say. And even in the debate between
Mhm.
her and Pence, she was immediately labeled an angry Black woman because he said some things that were not true. She corrected him. She was confident.
Mhm.
And so now she's an angry Black woman and she got an attitude and all this other kind of, she's shrill. Uh,
I was told that as coming from a white woman, because I really had an issue with being labeled as that. So I came and out and said, you know, I do not want that label as an angry Black woman for an incident that made me upset, and I reacted in that moment. That doesn't define who I am. And she said, oh honey, coming from a white woman, you deserve to be an angry Black. You deserve that title. You've earned that right. And looking at what I've that research and how this has really been a deeply embedded form of trauma.
mm-hmm,
It is surprising that anybody would say, I've earned that title, or that's something that I aspire to be.
right,
And then the fact that you are a white woman and you're looking at me and you view me you view me in a stereotypical way. We're
right.
never going to get out of this.
And trying to
So
give
if
you permission, trying to give you permission
right,
to
and give me
accept what
permission
she
to say
sees,
that
how she sees you. She trying to get permission about how she sees you.
oh, it's okay. Oh, you earned. And now I asked another white woman though, just giving facts about a situation, and asked. I said, well, if I know I'm a bit intense and I'm very passionate when I speak on things. I said, but what is your view? What do you consider a angry Black woman? She said, well, I'm not a racist. I said, okay, because, okay, you're not a racist. And, but I couldn't tell you because I don't see color.
What, that wasn't an answer to your question.
Exactly.
And had you kept going with that conversation, letting her
I'd have
know
been
that
volatile and
she,
pushy.
right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a, y'all, I hope y'all get a chance to visit it. There's a museum, I believe it's in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's
Mm.
called the Jim Crow Museum.
Oh.
And it encompasses so many different caricatures of the black woman's journey. Like it goes way back and then comes up to
Mm.
the future. And it just shows all of the different ways that we have as black women, the caricatures of us being angry black women. So listen, another reason for this podcast is this. I just decided, why not lean into it? Why not lean into being, not being, but lean into that phrase
Mm-hmm.
and be able to show what an opinionated, intelligent, thoughtful black woman is about. Because listen, if you follow us through life, let's
Mm-hmm.
go and take us back to when we were in our whatever our African homeland was, our ancestors, wherever they
Mm-hmm.
came from, and
Mm-hmm.
then bring us forward in through the civil rights,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and bring us forward today to where we're back to fighting for those civil rights, okay. Why is it that black women have excelled? Because by number, by ratio, black women are more educated. I, I'm just saying, okay. But we
the,
have this.
the
There's
statistics
this
don't lie.
facade that says that we're dumb, we're stupid, we're that
Mm-hmm.
word shrill. I keep coming back. That was a good word you found. We're
Yes.
shrill, which
Mm-hmm.
means we're out of control. Shrill, we're out of control. Okay. But why have we continued to excel? We don't have a choice. Failure is not an option.
Mm-hmm.
That's some. Listen, we read that article. I listen. That's something that I've always felt in my
Mm-hmm.
lifetime. I did not have an option to fail, but that being able to put all my focus into what I need to do, and sometimes even multitask several different things,
Oh.
is seen as a problem. I'm an angry black woman because of that, because I can do that.
Right. And then if you look at the other aspect of the angry black woman is we're masculine. And this has come up, and actually in a conversation I had, in a personal conversation with one of my male elder cousins. We were talking. I said, I want to be feminine. I want to be soft and feminine, and but giving the environment that I am in, giving the societal expectation for me to fail, for me to have to literally run myself in the ground, but be my own protector, be my own everything. It gives me a sense of masculinity. But then the fact that I'm quick to demasculate a man because of his shortcomings, and that is a characteristic or something that I will never be able to get away from, because I believe that if I'm opinionated about someone's shortcomings, and that just happens to be my counterpart, my brother, my significant other, my yin and yang, the yin to my yang, or whatever, but I'm constantly cutting them down because I have to take on that that masculine role. Well, I'm offended by that, because what is that to say about men who are more in touch with their feminine side, who can be soft and compassionate and still be uh the protector and be masculine? So what does that say about that? So now we have this confusion going on about gender roles. So I cannot be strong and independent and not be feminine. That's not feminine, because I have to take on so many masculine qualities in order for me to stand alone, be independent, and be respected. And the only way to do that is to be, to some point, masculine. So I'm over sexualized, and my attitude is blown out of proportion. And now I'm thugger thugger. I'm just as niggerish. I'm
I
using those air quotes, as any man.
I think that throughout our lifetimes, and the lifetimes of our ancestors, we've had to be very strong in the background of our men,
Hmm.
while they did or went through some of the horrific things they went through. And I think that that's one of Black women's best qualities, is that they can stand side by side with their man,
Hmm.
and hold it down. I think we have the strength to do that. I think you're right, and this may be a different episode to delve into that. I
Hmm.
think that you're right that it does come across as um, masculine energy because of societal pulls. I think that we have had to lean on that masculine energy more than we've wanted to,
Hmm.
because we don't have men who love us, protect us,
Hmm.
treat us nicely, so that we can exude that feminine energy. Because
Yeah.
you're right, I agree with you that that is self-preservation for the Black woman, is to like put a guard up and be like, okay, so if I don't have any choice, again, here's that I don't have an option. And so that all of that strength comes out, but she's not seen for who she really is. The Black woman is seen as shrill
Hmm.
attitude.
Hmm.
And that's an excuse for the person who's calling us that to not have to do what they're supposed to do. So
Hmm.
I don't know where we're gonna
Interesting.
go in the future with this. What you think? What you think? What do you think?
We'll
Do we
go to
have a
the
future?
moon. We'll go to the moon. Ah,
I,
you
but
know, I do what but I think that this would this should we should go further into this, because it explains so much of characteristics that we take, masculine, feminine. What is the definition of that? Well, all of this is stemming from all of this deeply embedded perspective, and we do it to our own people. We do it to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So now the way we see ourselves and each other is through this distorted lens, and it has a trickle effect because now we have these labels
Yeah,
for all the spin-off
we have to put
behavior.
people down and put a label on them in order to make ourselves look good. Right.
But we put a label on things so that we could call it something. It may
Mm-hmm.
not be necessarily what it is, but we got to give it a name.
Yeah, that part.
It can't be what it is. It can't be that. It's got to be something that we can equate with something.
Mm-hmm.
And so we give it a name. And I think, yeah, this is really going to take us into some interesting
Yeah,
perspectives.
because it never ceases to amaze me when someone actually listens to what I have to say and then
Mm,
they go, "Oh," and you see this light bulb go off as if they didn't expect for me to have that type of thought.
yeah. It
But
does make me second guess a lot of encouraging things that have been said. Now it makes me wonder, did you say that because you were surprised?
yeah, why were you surprised though? So
Right.
you had put me in this box of being this
Mhm,
angry woman, angry black woman.
mhm.
And so therefore, because I'm an angry black woman in your eyes, and I love the word shrill, right? Oh, you
That
just
that
going off. Oh, you just
oh
going
yeah.
off because you don't want to listen. You don't want us to actually have a dialogue. You want to have a monologue and you want me to listen. We
Mhm.
can't talk together, have both all of us have ideas and then have a where we come together and walk forward. So I'm really fascinated at every time I got that look
Mhm.
that someone was surprised that I would have a thought. And they actually say things like, "Wow, you're really smart." Well, okay. So an angry black woman is smart.
Mhm.
She is beautiful. She is so many different adjectives.
Mhm.
She's compassionate. Like an angry black woman is so many different things. And the main thing is that she is not angry.
The whole point of it all. I'm not
Yeah.
angry. Who mad? Who mad?
Why do you have to put that label on me that I'm angry? That's
Mm,
you. That's you putting your stuff on me. Listen, you got
mm.
something else to say? Because this we come to the end.
We have come to the end.
You
Well,
got you got some
I
other
just want
thoughts?
to tell you a little bit about myself. I am Red Dragon
Okay.
the Poet. I am a spoken word artist. I also
Yeah, we're gonna make her
have
say some of her poetry on here. Just wait for it. Just wait
oh
for
yeah, I got some new material too. This socio
it.
economic stuff is really stimulating. But yeah, I am a small business owner. I am a holistic practitioner, so I do enjoy making a lot of different things that promote wellness and well being, and I just think that that should be something that we should adapt more of, a more holistic approach to our well-being as a people. So I'm in pursuit of that. I'm in school pursuing a bachelor's in holistic education, and I'm just, I'm living the life of different perspective now. So I am very glad that you had me on. This was a great way to be a part of things that I want to see around me, instead of the status quo of complaining but never initiating anything about it.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I'm I'm really glad to be a part of this. I am very big on trying to be more active in my community,
Mm-hmm.
and I am a member of a social club. So hey,
Okay. Okay. So,
I'm a member of the Black Butterflies Social
okay.
Club.
And
So
where are they
it's
located?
we are in St. Louis.
Okay.
We have our St. Louis chapter, but empowering women, um hold your, our creed is to keep your wings high and hold your head higher. And I believe that all women should feel a little bit more empowered by each other and break
Right.
away from that angry black woman perspective. That would
Right.
really kind of be some sisterhood I would like to see, instead of turning on the TV
And seeing them
and
fighting
and,
on the
and
YouTube or
alternative.
Facebook,
Yeah.
seeing the
Okay.
women
World
punching each
Star.
other,
Okay. Or cussing, pulling wigs off each
pulling
other.
wigs
Hey,
off. Yeah,
pay
that
good
part,
money
that
for
part,
this.
that part.
And
So,
I paid good money for this because you
exactly.
was there buying yours.
Got my human hair.
Okay. Pull it on
Y'all
my
can see
bundle.
Red Dragon the Poet social media is on. I know she's on
Oh,
Instagram,
I'm sorry. I
Facebook.
forgot to tell you. Yes, I am on
So you
Instagram.
should
I'm on
connect with her
Facebook.
there, find out more about her business,
You
and
can give
support
me a
her.
call. You can give me a call. My business is Holistic Trap Wellness LLC, which is on IG. And you can give me a call at 557-203-8247, and we can discuss whatever type of creative
She didn't give y'all
infusion.
her phone number for y'all to be trying to get a date. She
Oh,
said we're
girl,
gonna
that's an
discuss
answering service.
business.
We
She
gonna
said
be
we don't
all
discuss
business.
business. I'm just letting y'all know.
I scream the weirdos. No. But yeah, that's where you can find me. I'm making my way around, just trying to get out in the community. I also intern. I'm an intern with Too Hot Radio in Atlanta.
All right.
So
All right,
hey, and if you
Too
guys
High
are down
Radio
in
in Atlanta. Y'all listen to that. Too High Radio.
tune in, because Princess with the T, I'm telling you, Princess with the Wheels, she's a interesting person. I like her. She's real cool beans. And they always host every year the indie artist section for the BET Hip Hop Awards. So it's nice to see another black radio station in the community, like we got up here, making a difference for local artists. So hey, y'all catch me around, and catch me bouncing around on social media, trying to get my 15
And you
minutes of
do
notoriety.
live poetry sets and stuff like that, right?
Well, I do write. I have been going around open mics. I've stopped recently, but hey, I'm always about coming in and speaking to small groups. So I do public speaking. And
Awesome.
so yeah, I want to contribute to sisterhood, and
Hmm.
I want to contribute to changing a perspective that we see for black artists. A lot of us are outside. Well, I'm inside, I'm outside, I'm all over. But I'm hoping that I can inspire as I go. So this platform is great. I'm glad you had me on here.
Well, I was glad to have you on too. I thank you for coming on the show. I thank all of you for listening in, tuning in, like, subscribe, follow. Looking forward to our next episode. We don't know what it's gonna be about, but we working
We
on it.
promise
We
not to be
working on
angry.
it. The angry women are really not angry. Okay.
We know.
All right.
We
So visit our webpage. You can catch up. You'll probably know what's happening next on the website. So visit thephaedra.com. Remember to like, subscribe, follow. You can find us on pretty much all podcast platforms, social media platforms. And until next time, hashtag masterpiece, not angry. And we'll see you next time here on the Angry Black Woman Podcast. Tune in. Bye, y'all.
Bye.